we all come from different backgrounds. You might have 4 friends, and some of them, I think, are well off. And then after you finish varsity, the other friend is driving a BMW 1 Series, and you already start to feel the pressure inside you to buy a car or something like that. It is very important to know yourself and know where you come from. You know what goals you want to achieve. So, with your salary, I advise people to take time and think about what they want to do with that money. Because most of us, like people, we find ourselves in a lot of debt within a very short space of time because of cars. We want to appear as these successful people out there in public, yet we are almost the unhappiest people, or even our families are still struggling back at home. You're not able to send them 1,000 rand every month because that money has to go to the car. You're not able to buy yourself a nice couch or a nice TV where you stay because all that money has to go to a car. It is very important for you to set your budget nicely and to be able to save, because if you save the money today, it will save you tomorrow. My name is Michael Maseko. I come from Johannesburg, and as a nickname, people call me Mike, which is a short for Michael. I see myself as a good son to my parents, a good colleague to my colleagues at work, also a good friend to all those that are in my circle. I identify myself as a pillar of support to my woman, and also obviously career-wise, I identify myself as a leading electronic and electrical systems engineer, so more focused on the electrical and electronic systems. When it comes to my studies in high school, like I had a choice to choose. Well, if I want to go the commercial way, do something around around finance, or do something something along the lines of arts or science, you know. But then, like I was very good in maths and science, so I had to pick something that was in line with what I'm good at. But to tell the truth, like how I had no idea what I wanted to do at varsity. So upon completion of my before I completed my high school, there is an uncle of mine who was working as an aeronautical engineer actually. So, like having a chat with him one of the holidays, I realized that he's doing quite an interesting thing, and I think at that time I considered to be cool to be working with aeroplanes. So I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer, and then I think I did not have much challenges at high school in terms of getting the results I want. I was really good at school. But then the problem was now going to varsity. When I had to try and get that aeronautical engineering degree at the University of Wits, I could not go through with Wits because Wits was a bit expensive. So I had to settle for another university, which was a little bit affordable for my parents. So I ended up going to the University of Johannesburg. However, the University of Johannesburg did not have the the discipline that I wanted. So I had to settle for electrical and electronic engineering. When I completed my studies in matric, it's not like everything was good for me. Everything was perfect, so I was ready to go to university. I had to take a gap year. That gap year was there for me to be able to raise some funds to be able to pay for my first year, because my parents could not afford that. I have a single mother, so she's a determined person, somebody who would have wanted me to become what I am today. She really tried her best, but then you have to understand that if the money is not there, it puts too much pressure on the parent. So you also have a responsibility as an individual to try and assist where you can. So I had to take a gap year. I went to work at a restaurant. I worked at a restaurant in 2006 and managed to raise some money there to assist my mom to pay for my first year. And luckily, after I passed my first year, my results were good enough for me to get a bursary to continue with my studies. So what I want to say to the people out there, especially the learners who are doing their grade 12, doing their grade 11, is that we all have different challenges in life. It's not always perfect. Most of the people that I know in townships, in the rural areas, almost have the same challenges like me, or even worse. But then that must not stop you from achieving your goals. At the end of the day, you can be an engineer, you can be a president, you can be a lawyer. All you have to do is put your determination and try to work hard towards your goals. And also, do not be afraid to say, okay, while your friends are going to university, I take that gap year to try and get employment, to raise some funds. You will see those funds will assist you and your family to try and achieve your goals. Our degree, the one I chose, like at the University of Johannesburg, is a 4-year degree. So for you to qualify for that degree, you need to be you need to have good mathematical and science results from your matric. So after that, like I was doing electrical and electronic engineering. So the first year is really a year where they try to use some of the principles that you've learned in high school and try to bring them together to what you'll be doing in second and third and fourth year. So there you'll be doing much lighter courses where you look at things like electrotechnics, the application of the principles and concepts that you learned in physics, and you do applied mathematics, and then also you do other courses that are outside engineering just to help you be a social person as well. And then as you proceed to second year and third year, you start to be more focused on your degree, like on things that are more related to electrical and electronic engineering. You do electrical systems, you do power systems, you do telecommunications, optical systems, control systems. Those are the major courses that you do in electrical and electronic engineering. And some of them you may start in third year, and it takes you all the way to fourth year. For instance, you might have control system 3A, which is done in the first semester of third year. You might have control system 3B, and another one, control system 4A and 4B, which means you're doing these control systems over a period of 2 years in 4 semesters. So there, as an individual, although it is a requirement for you to pass all the modules for you to be able to get that particular degree, you need to also pick what you're good at. So some other people are good in telecommunications, and today they're working for big organizations like Vodacom MTN, telecom, and so on. And some people that were good with power systems are working for Transnet Freight Rail, working for Eskom and all the other big companies. Then you find individuals that are good at control systems working for companies like ABP. So as an individual, I had to figure out what I'm actually good at. So I was more good at things like control systems and electrical systems. That's why my career is more aligned towards control systems and electrical systems. At university, I really think my first year and my second year, I really performed very well. So I managed to get a bursary with Marion Roberts, which landed me at one of the entities called Union Carriage and Wagon. It's an entity that was responsible for refurbishment and building of new rolling stock locomotives and trains. So upon completion of my studies, I went to work there as a trainee at Marion Roberts. My duties there were involving the testing and commissioning of newly built locomotives, the Class 15E and 19E locomotives. There, I would have to check the performance of the electrical and electronic systems on board the locomotives, if they are working according to specification, and if not, I would have to find out why it's not working like that. Do some investigations, and also in some instances you'd find that somewhere along the production line, something might have changed, which is influencing the performance of the locomotives. So I was responsible for trying to find out why those things are happening and why the systems are not working properly. But overall, that year helped me understand the performance of a locomotive in general and all the different systems that are on board the locomotive. So in 2013, I then moved over to Transnet Engineering, which is also a company which is more focused on rolling stock. They manufacture, they maintain rolling stock. So I'm working there for a department called Research and Development. My roles entail the testing and commissioning of new locomotives, and also trying to provide field service support to some depot engineers. I'm currently an electronic systems engineer at Transnet, and my duties there is to ensure the good performance of electronic systems on board the Class 45 locomotives that have been newly acquired by Transnet. Furthermore, I've got the responsibility to transfer the knowledge that I've gathered in the past years to the incoming engineers and also technicians that are working at Transnet. All right, so going forward now, as a registered professional engineer with the Engineering Council of South Africa, like I see myself going into greater heights as an individual and also as an employee to my employer, and also I would like to contribute in other projects in the community,